sorry about that. Tech sucks
Streamlabs
sometimes.
decided to shit the bed, but it's fine.
Yeah. So we're just gonna pick up where we were. We're talking Night Terrors, and there were a ton of issues announced. I'm gonna run through a few of these, and if I say anything that sounds interesting, I guess just stop me. Um, Night Terrors First Blood, #1, Joshua Williamson and Howard Porter. They're going to be the ones that are kicking us off with that. The Night Terrors team proper is Joshua Williamson, Giuseppe Camuncoli, Stefano Nessi, and Casper Wingard. So that's a pretty solid creative team. What is Night Terrors about? Night Terrors is a book where essentially the DC universe is going to be overrun by their nightmares. And their greatest fears are going to come to life and all that kind of jazz that you can kind of sort of think about fear itself. That's where my mind went as I was reading some of this. But yeah, it's going to be a lot of that. The covers really give a lot away in terms of, at least in what we can expect. This is very much a DC horror event. We knew it was coming because of 5G and the 5G files that there would eventually be a horror event. We're getting that now. And so that's really the long and short of it as far as what this event actually is. There's going to be a Zatanna book by Dennis Culver and David Baldion. That's kind of cool.
Not bad about that.
Yeah.
Always love Tana.
Dennis Culver, too, from Doom Patrol.
Yep.
Right.
DP.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
I love
all
DP.
right.
Wow. Whoa. Hey. Joker, #1 by Matthew Rosenberg and Stefano Raffaelli or Raphael.
No, thanks.
Yeah, right.
Hey, what's
what I said.
what's Joker's biggest fear?
Who cares?
Oh, I saw the cover for this one.
Yeah. It's a desk job.
I actually like Kale's answer more.
What? Who cares?
Yeah.
I saw, Tyler on Twitter said that this is fucking brilliant. And I went, is it?
You question my taste?
I am now.
Oh man. So I'm sorry if I'm messing you up, by the way. I'm just trying to go where I feel it's interesting.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
There's a Teen Titans Night Terrors by Andrew Constant and Scott Godlewski.
Godlewski, yeah. I don't have all the covers, Sean, so you can just go wherever.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like most of this is books that already exist that are attempted with the same or similar creative team, and then a bunch of creators that DC's giving a shot. Alex Packnadell's on this list. He's obviously an up-and-comer. I already mentioned Dennis Culver. Danny Lore's here. Andrew Constant's not a name I'm familiar with. I don't know if they're new or not. But a lot of books by a lot of people. Inherently, I don't think I'm interested in this. And it's because I feel like the last two DC events have just been DC's heroes in magic event, DC's heroes in horror event. I didn't care for Lazarus Planet very much. I felt like it was a little bit confusing. So many random one-offs. And I don't think it was necessary. This feels like that. Where the hell's Amanda Waller at?
Oh, that thing that was teased. Yeah, I forgot about that.
That's all I want to know.
You're gonna have to
But
find out.
silver
Night Terror
lining,
Amanda
Sean.
Waller.
Silver lining. You could potentially take a whole 2 months off. It's in the summer. You can enjoy a nice little vacation from DC Comics.
Can you imagine
See,
how wonderful? God.
Tyler, that what you just said is akin to the worlds without a Justice League. Imagine a world without the Comics Pals, a world where we get to create our own universes and have whatever we want. A world where we don't have to hear Marco talk about Swamp Thing. A world where we don't read bad comic book events. That is not the world we live in. We live in Night Terror's world. So July, August, this is what we're reviewing on Pals Pools.
Thank God it isn't overlapping with Sins of Sinister, though.
That'll be ending. Issue 2, though.
That's my Night Terror.
which is this
issue
last issue gets pushed back.
the one interesting piece here for me for
Yeah.
number two is solicited to have Wesley Dodds team up with Batman and Deadman to uncover one of his oldest cases.
All
I'm
right.
down.
All
I-
right.
Uh-huh.
I'm in.
Yep.
I'm in.
Yep. I'm in.
See, I didn't want to do the solicits because I knew this was gonna happen. I knew
nerds.
something cool was gonna be said, and then we were gonna somehow turn around this event. I just want you guys to join
no,
me.
hold on. All I said was Wesley Dodds is in it. So I'm gonna read it.
All right.
I'm not happy about it.
You might not even like it.
I probably won't even like it.
You're gonna read it anyway, because the first issue actually features Boston Brand,
I
aka
love
Deadman.
Deadman too.
Love alliteration.
But like Sandman's top guy. Like
And
Back
Dodds.
to back.
Is
Sandman
Dodds in Sandman mystery whatever?
Yeah.
Yep.
I knew it. I knew that name from somewhere, and I knew it was attached to something I don't like.
Wesley Dodds Sandman to me is Marco's Swamp Thing. I don't go on about it because I'm not a nerd, but like I gotta show up for it.
Got to show up for it on your comic book podcast. You're not a nerd.
Hey, listen, you think I want to be here?
The one thing that
Wow.
jumped out to me, because we're not breaking down all the solicits, right?
Yeah.
Was that Angel Breaker, which is like a new creation that Williamson made in the Batman versus Robin. She is getting Dr. Destiny's like gem thing. Whatever that thing from
sick.
Sandman's called. So if that's
Sorry,
harkening back,
who is that?
Angel Breaker. She was like one of the League of Assassins, or League of Shadows assassins, like new character within the last year created. She's on the stream now.
Yeah.
But she's getting Dr. Destiny's gem of whatever it is. So
Whoa. Wait, that's cool. Yo, this is really cool.
the covers are cool. I would recommend just like checking out the article. There's some really interesting covers on there.
Can we talk about real fast the variant for Night? This might be one of my favorite variants of any comic book ever. There's two of them that I really like. It's Batman standing in front of that giant bat god creature.
I don't have that one.
Okay, and then the one where Bruce Wayne is ingesting or birthing a bat. Do you have that? That was
No.
disgusting.
I stopped giving screen time to any kind of bat character giving birth after the Joker situation.
Okay, all right, fair
Yeah.
enough. I'm more excited about the covers than I am the actual story, but I will read it and give it a chance. Joshua Williamson's still great.
Yeah.
All these creators are great, and we will be reading a lot of this.
Only had a way of collecting these digital variants.
If only. Damn, these are rad.
Yeah, they really are.
Can I tell you this Jay Lee Batman Boston Brand one?
Yeah.
I hate Jay Lee, and this one is fire.
Oh yeah, this is a really good
that's
cover
good.
as well. Yeah.
But they're gonna shit on it, Kale. I was gonna be upset.
No, it's fucking fire.
Yeah, so there are going to be many incentive covers and things like that. I'm personally going to try for the Bruce birthing a bat cover because that is just disgusting and crazy. But the jury's out on whether or not this is going to be a must read, and you can find out. At least you can find out our take on Pals Pulls whenever we get around to that. This starts July 11th, I believe.
I'm right. I'm down. DC and horror makes a lot of sense.
May 6th.
And I think it works well for the universe. So I'm interested to get this.
Sorry, does this start May 6th or July 11th?
It starts May 6th with the free comic book day special edition.
Yeah.
And then it starts officially July 4th.
July 4th.
Is when we get the first blood and some of the tie-ins. Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay.
The Night Terrors #1 of 4 drops July 11th.
Right. Okay.
So lots of dates to keep track of. We will be reviewing these. You guys will hear our thoughts. Let's move on to the other things that DC did want us this week, because we learned about Mark Waid getting a Superman book, but not quite the way he probably wants it yet.
Hmm?
They keep dangling that Superman carrot in front of my man. They gave him World's Finest. For those of you who don't know, he was banned from being able to write Superman. Mark Waid was banned because he upset Paul Levitz, because he was a part of a some kind of like a coup like that involved Miller and Morrison and Tom Payer and a variety of different people, and it caused problems within DC. And so his punishment was that he would not be allowed to write Superman, and that was kept in play. In fact, when they offered him Superman when Paul Levitz was gone, they offered him Action Comics. But Dan Didio was like, "Yeah, that's not going to be happening. You're not going to be writing Superman." And so then he swore off DC. And now
Yeah.
Dan Didio's gone, Levitz is gone, Wade's back, and he's getting Superman Last Days of Lex Luthor. He's going to be teaming up with the artist of the 2020s, apparently, Bryan Hitch.
Bro, dude needs to chill.
For real.
He's not having those problems with his art anymore.
Nope, he is fully
I mean, just
confident.
cranking it out.
Seriously.
He's
I'm back.
he is cranking. And so this is going to be this is what the solicit is. In Superman: The Last Days of Lex Luthor, Superman learns Lex is dying and wants the Man of Steel to help him find a cure for whatever is causing his rapid decline. While the world wants to say good riddance to Luthor, Superman will go to the ends of the universe through different dimensions and across time to save his foe. But why does he want to save the person who spent his life trying to destroy him? And will he even be able to find the solution?
Because he's Superman, that's why.
Yeah.
Right.
Answer to both. Yeah.
Exactly. Mark Waid said, for the first time, Superman's fighting the tide of public opinion, embarking on a mission that billions of people outright oppose. But he has his reasons, partly because of who he is, but partly because of a debt he feels he owes. And readers of Superman Birthright, which, this is me speaking, is a previous Mark Waid book, back to Mark, might already guess what that perceived debt is. Together, Superman and Lex are racing the clock in search of a cure as they travel the breadth of the super universe from Atlantis to Kandor to the Phantom Zone, all spectacularly reimagined by Bryan Hitch.
Lex, you've given me so many things over the years. You've given me things to do. You've been my best friend. You've given me enemies. You've given me a reason to fly around and do all these things. Of course, I'll go to the end of the universe to find a cure for you. Of course I will. I'm Superman.
My issue is Lex even asking for help. That's where I have an issue. But Lex is always up to his own devious motions. So.
Floyd.
I think it'll probably be akin to the way that Lex is sort of asking, quote unquote, Superman for help in the Superman comic now, where he's trying to manipulate him and control him, but really he needs Superman for something. This will probably be similar, except Superman will be much more inclined to help for whatever Mark Waid is referencing in the quote I read. Honestly, the part that's least attractive to me is actually Bryan Hitch. Just because I don't feel like his Superman gives Superman to me.
It's not giving Superman.
Yeah. Not for me.
Is it the shape? He's very pyramidy,
Yeah.
It's a shape.
Square. Like his body's more square.
And the limbs are very
He looks like a basketball player.
Yeah. He looks like that's a good And I also feel like Venom also looks like this.
Yeah, everyone's a little gangly,
Yeah, there's a gangliness going on of late. Not hating, but yeah.
I just don't feel like I am interested in this.
Yeah, same. Go ahead, sorry.
It just doesn't. The premise doesn't appeal to me because I feel like it's not that Wade can't knock it out of the park and won't do something incredible, but it all feels fairly obvious.
My other worry is, are we in a oversaturation for Superman at this point too? Like, which is weird to say because we haven't for a while, but there's a lot of Superman going on right now.
But I think it's good Superman, and I think
So far.
like what PKJ has been doing has been like just knocking it out of the park. And so for me, I think this doesn't seem like it's pulling from the same concept of Superman. To Kale's point, I think Mark Waid would probably do a really good job, but it's not that more wholesome character that I'm now like attracted to. I'm drawn to that aspect of the character, and I don't know if that's going to be showcased here.
Even a Black Label Superman book kind of turns me off a little bit.
Yeah, it has connotation.
I don't want to see his dick. I could stand to see his dick. I mean,
You want to see the super sausage?
listen, I want to see what makes the man super.
True.
All right. Fair enough.
The Man of Steel, as it were.
Steel libido. So we'll be getting this, but I don't actually see a release date on this. Yeah, I'm not sure that there is one. But July 25th. July 25th. So a little bit longer to wait, but I agree. I think I'd actually rather a traditional Mark Waid Superman book, but both Action and Superman proper are in the middle of runs from creators that are very large. And I don't see them kicking off either one of them from Mark Waid's eventual crowning achievement of a Superman or Action Comics run. So I kind of agree with Kel. I'm on this overall. But that's not the only Mark Waid announcement we got this week, because Mark Waid is going to be writing a Teen Titans series. World's Finest Teen Titans is going to be a book that he is teaming with Emanuela Lupacchino for, of Wonder Woman fame. This is going to be dropping in July as well, July 11th. And it seems like it's going to be in the stylings of World's Finest, almost like he's building out like not an imprint, but like a little mini universe.
I'm fine with that.
Kind of recanonizing the older stuff, the history of DC.
Yeah, and recontextualizing a lot of stuff too.
Would you say Silver Age?
Yeah. Rebirthing it all.
Right. Yeah. And I actually kind of like what Jeff Johns is doing with the Golden Age characters, right? The Legion and the new Golden Age that he did and things like that. So they're kind of concurrently sort of bringing some of that stuff back. Yeah, I mean, this is pretty cool. It's spinning directly out of World's Finest. It's going to be led by Robin, of course. We're getting the Teen Titans. When they're not fighting alongside their Justice League mentors, they're managing their image and cultivating the rapid fan base that helps them save the world, as all the while a danger from the shadows intends to tear these friends apart before they ever reach the big time. Before they were the Titans of the DCU, they were the Teen Titans, and you won't want to miss this fresh take on their origins.
Yeah,
The interesting thing here is adding Bumblebee as a founding Titan.
Yeah,
which is like it was gratuitous inclusivity. No.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see where they are, if this is founding the Teen Titans or if this is just a little bit later. Yeah, I'm all about this.
The like influencery aspect of this, they're managing their image and the fan base, that turns me off, because
if they say Instagram once, I'm out.
I'm not interested to hear about I'm not interested to hear that part of their story. I'm sure it might work, and if it does, then maybe as I read it, it'll work out. But off rip, I don't care for that aspect of their lives. that's not the superheroics that come for the Teen Titans book.
Also, like just in timeline wise, it confuses me if they do something like that. So
What do you mean?
I think what I like about World's Finest is that it kind of plays in this evergreen area that I think this needs to also do.
I would be surprised if it's influencer sort of in the way it means today.
Yeah.
Because the Titans have always sort of had to manage expectations and the way they look because they live in a giant house that's a T literally on the San Francisco Bay, right? And they're always held to a higher account because of the Justice League. So a lot of their stories back in the day, you know, the new Teen Titans and stuff like that, the Perez and Wolfman stuff, a lot of it was about like Donna Troy being a model and Starfire, you know, doing these things and like having to sort of answer to the public to a certain degree, probably because they're kids.
What it would have been like to be a young pop star in the 90s, early 2000s, to be like a member of NSYNC or something like that. I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Interesting.
I'm into it.
These covers though,
That's Chris Samnee, man.
Yeah, that's hot stuff.
I love this Doc Shaner Robin too.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? Top Lane makes a really good point too, though. He says, I mean, they have to make it modern because technically this happened, quote, years ago. So it is that sort of weird time slide scale thing that comics have to do, where it's like, well, how old are these characters really? If you're putting them that deep in the past where there were no influencers or things like that, how old are these people? Like, isn't Nightwing's like what, probably like 25, 27, somewhere in there?
Yeah, I've always put him low 30s.
Yeah, sure. Even then, for him to be our age, you know, that's where you're talking 90s. So
okay, fair.
Yeah, this is gonna be cool, I think. And Mark Waid has really been hitting it out the park. Like, since coming back to DC, pretty much everything he's done has landed. Atomic Hound is right. This is definitely a must buy. This is a good question for the podcast. What's a recommended modern Titans book? That's from Aaron Ruiz.
I think the last time the Teen Titans were really, really relevant was Jeff Johns.
I agree.
Not to continually blow smoke, but you know, his run genuinely like brought a ton of attention to the Teen Titans, and he did it so well up to just a couple of issues after Infinite Crisis. You know, and he talks about it on the podcast, you know, when Tony Daniel left, like that whole run there, you don't want to miss it. But he really uses the relationships that were already built from the characters in Young Justice to build conflict in Teen Titans. So that era of Teen Titans is Tim Drake Robin, Connor Kent Superboy, you know, Impulse turns Kid Flash. And one of the massive arcs is about Superboy learning that he's part clone of Lex Luthor and what that does to him, eventually leading to being activated as like a Bizarro clone. He like shaves his head and goes nuts, and it wrecks the team dynamic and his relationships completely.
Is it like the match stuff?
I think that came after.
Okay. Yeah, honestly, I don't know of a good Teen Titans book modern outside of that. Like, I've never read one that I enjoyed, to be honest.
But I mean, to that extent, like that was 2003.
Yeah.
And I don't know if there's been a good enough Teen Titans run since.
Top Lane makes references after graduation day. Teen Titans became such a great book. Sylph says Nightwing New Order could be a good standalone book. So there are options for the Titans, but I think this is going to sit in nicely for people who want to see the Titans as they were.
Yeah, I hope so.
And I've never seen that before, so I'm definitely going to be buying this. Well, not to be outdone, Marvel has announced a lot of books. Some of these were announced at MegaCon, but they've been dropping a few different creative teams every week. And so we know what the Fall of X lineup is. And a lot of these are books that already exist in some form or fashion. So we won't really belabor those. We'll talk about the new ones, though. And so Fall of X is just the next, like, status quo within the Krakoan status quo. This is not the end of Krakoa. They've been decently clear about that. Krakoa will live on after this in some way, but we don't know what the ramifications of this will be yet. But we do know that the X-Men are on their heels. And so the Fall of X lineup includes X-Men, Astonishing X-Man, or rather, I'm sorry, Astonishing Iceman, which is a new book. That is going to have the creative team of one of our favorites, Steve Orlando,
Hey.
with art from Vincenzo Caratu. Orlando said, "Have I not been saying my next Marvel project was cool as hell? Astonishing Iceman has been not just a joy, but a challenge in the best possible kind, because Fall of X means Iceman's life is more dangerous and harrowing than ever. But Bobby is a hero to the core, and there's no danger he's met in whose face he won't laugh." That was hard to say. Yeah, so that's Astonishing Iceman.
Man, nothing can get me to care about Iceman.
Nope. Not in a solo
The
book,
closest
certainly.
was Bendis, because he made Iceman an Omega level mutant, and like future Iceman was like a snow wizard. But like that was as far as it got.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah.
But like, who
Yeah,
cares?
cool.
Yo, what's the Iceman hate?
What?
He's a team
What
player. I don't care about him as a solo book, to be honest.
Yeah.
He's a great
Fu-
part of an ensemble, but that's it for me.
Catch him with Spider-Man and his amazing friends, and that's the least people I want to see in an Iceman book.
Maybe we can get Uncanny Spider-Man and his amazing friends coming up. But
Ugh.
It's just one of those things where, like, not every character needs or can sustain a solo title. Obviously, this isn't probably going to be an ongoing, have big hopes for this, right? So why do it? To me, I think that goes back to some of the messaging and things we've talked about on the show recently, where it's like, who's this book for? I don't know.
It is a a gay character headlining a book. So
Wonderful.
if they
What's
market
the
it
story?
like that, then maybe
Yeah,
there
right.
could be a market.
That is not enough, and I think that to me is the worst way to sell things. I think if you can sell us on an Astonishing Iceman that we need because it's a good comic, then that's the sticking point. You know, I am not like I'm black, right? I
What?
did not buy
What?
every I'm
Whoa.
shocked, big shock. Crazy.
Wow, we haven't made that joke in a long time.
I do not buy every black character's comic, and I don't buy every comic book written by a black person.
You do like Black Label.
Yes, and guess what? There are no black characters in Black Label. So for me, it's not, and not everybody thinks like me, but for me, it's not about the characters or the creators so much as it is about, am I going to get value for my dollar? Comics ain't cheap. So if the book's good, I'll buy it. I don't care if they're gay, straight, bi, trans, black, white, whatever. As long as it's good, that's what I need. And we need more characters like Iceman to have starring roles. Just tell a great story. Let's get that Hickman Iceman if you're going to do Iceman. Bring it on.
That's the thing. Make me like Iceman.
Right.
On paper, Iceman is cool as hell, so to speak. I can't believe I just made that pun after Steve Orlando did that. It makes me furious.
You made it before too. You didn't realize it.
Ugh.
Yeah.
But the character is he's nothing.
He's boring Johnny Storm.
That's it.
Literally.
He's
Yeah.
worse than Johnny Storm.
Johnny Storm's at least a lovable brat.
Yeah,
I don't get Iceman's appeal.
He's a cool guy. He does dirt bikes. That's cool.
I like that you just know that fact about him just offhand.
Well, it's in the movie.
Yeah.
Oh, all right, fine. I forgot about that.
Great film.
So let's not talk about Iceman anymore. There's Wolverine has a book that's just going to be the same book we've been getting.
Yep.
Children of the Vault is another new title that was announced. We're actually going to have a new to Marvel creator, Dennis Camp, actually, is going to be writing
Bloodshot.
this one. Yeah, which was great, I thought. The Bloodshot book, with artist Luca Maresca from the Photon book that we recently just had. And so this is going to follow Cable and Bishop in a 4-issue miniseries where they will encounter the children of the Vault, who are mega evolved super mutants that we saw during Hickman's X-Men run. Remember that time period where we were all like, what the hell is going to happen when that vault opens up and all the cool stuff we anticipated that nothing ever happened with, really? These are the characters that were there. But I don't even know if we ever really saw them. Like they're coming from there.
No. The furthest we got was
am I wrong?
We haven't seen them, but we've gotten the fallout from Wolverine and Sync.
Yeah. Yes. I was just saying, like, these characters come from the vault.
Exactly, yeah. This almost feels like putting them in this, like, throwaway 4-issue mini feels like it's like, all right, we gotta close that plot hole somehow.
Yeah, tie the knot.
Yeah.
Which is a shame, because I think that was such a cool aspect of like I remember when we were when they first went in and they didn't address it for a few issues, and we're just like, we're waiting for that issue drop. We need to know what happens.
Great
like,
issue.
Hungry.
Too. Yeah.
And phenomenal, right? But this feels I just hope the payoff here isn't just like a wet fart.
To me, when you talk about payoff, how can you pay off a story that another creator told?
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's literally impossible. Obviously, it has happened, but if Hickman was setting something up, is Dennis Camp the person to, like, resolve that?
Are there like Hickman sacred texts somewhere,
I believe that there are,
Yep,
and I believe that I need to see them.
Yeah.
He wrote 2 Bibles. One was for X-Men and one was for the gods. I want to see the X-Men one. And if someone knows how to get that, let's talk off air.
Shit, let's talk on air.
I think there's some Minecraft Discord somewhere where people are leaking it. So
yeah, listen, if you can leak the government documents that talk about the Russian war and everything else on Discord, I'm pretty sure somebody can copy some files from Jonathan Hickman's X-Men Bible and pass them my way.
To be honest, I trust Disney over the government in terms of locking stuff down.
Secrets? Absolutely. 100%. Remember in Infinity War when everybody saw the trailer and how much shit that Disney flipped and redid? Yeah. Thor's eye was in it because we didn't know he lost it yet in Ragnarok and all these different things. Disney has it on lock.
Yep.
The government should keep their secrets with them. Invincible Iron Man. That's going to be continuing on. Jerry Duggan's been telling a story there. We know that that's relating to the mutants. Every book we're talking about in some way, shape, or form relates to the mutants. Iron Man is directly connected. The next new book, though, is Dark X-Men. This one is by Steve Fox with art by Jonas Scharf. The solicit reads, "Welcome to the Dark X-Men. Hope the world survives the experience."
Cute.
Great.
I have a question on this. See, I have the cover on the screen here. Azazel, cool to see him back. Maybe. Yeah. Notoriously one of the worst parts of one of the worst runs of X-Men. But we'll see where that goes. The Wolverine on the cover, is this the Days and X Lives and X Deaths of Wolverine. Wolverine.
So I'm pretty sure this is going deep. Okay.
Well,
There's a character from, I think I saw him in the Wolverine video game from the Sega Genesis.
Oh,
That is a Wolverine clone. I'm pretty sure he's called Albert, and he's just the Wolverine clone.
Albert.
I think so.
Like
I could be
A-Train?
completely
Oh, you're
wrong.
right.
I
Yeah.
Rick the Wolverine clone.
literally only ever seen him in that video game.
Yo, bro, this is a. Yeah, I think this is him. Yep, it's him.
Random. Random.
How
They brought
the
my man
hell
Albert
did you figure
back.
that out?
Dude, I played that game religiously. It scared the shit out of me.
Yeah, Albert. What the fuck? Wow.
An
Oh, Zero's on the
android-
team too. Okay, I play him in Marvel Snap all the time.
Hey, yes. That's
Who is?
cool.
Zero. He's one of the. Is that him on the cover without his costume on? I don't know.
I guess that's nasty if so.
Yeah, put the costume back on, buddy.
Who else do we have? Gambit, Archangel, Madeline
Love
Pryor, Havoc. And who is that character?
Emplate.
Okay, Emplate.
Marius St. Croix. It's a.
Do we know anything about this book?
Yeah, so we know a little bit about it. This is from the solicit. This deadly group will band together to fill the void left by the X-Men and are seemingly the perfect team to combat the harsh conditions of Fall of X. Their hearts are in the right place, but under the unpredictable leadership of the Goblin Queen and operating out of New York's new Limbo Embassy, will this team's dark ways turn the tide for mutant kind or make things far worse?
Okay.
Sounds fine.
Oh, thanks.
I like a good X-Men villain team. You know, like the Sabretooth book going on right now is fun. The it wasn't Marauders. It was the one with
Hellions.
Hellions. Yes, thank you, Cal. Yeah, that was great. So this could be like a sleeper hit. That really doesn't have any real stakes.
Any feelings on Steve Fox?
Cool name.
You've read him.
You got
Yeah.
that right. You got that right. Gotta appreciate a badass name.
Mhm.
Uncanny Avengers. We've talked about that. That's going to be basically bringing back the Rick Remender concept of the Unity Squad, where it's members of the X-Men teaming up with members of the Avengers to be basically like a forward-facing expression of the beautiful happiness and unity that exists between mutants and humans. We know how that turns out. So we'll move on. Realm of X. Now, Tyler, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't know anything about this. Do you know anything about it?
I know that it has Magic and Danny Moonstar on it on the team, but also Typhoid Mary's on the team.
Huh.
Which is a weird kind of. She's a mutant canonically, but like she's never really dealt with the mutants. I can get the creative team in a second here. I believe this was. Yeah, so Realm of X is it has Danny Moonstar, Magic, Marrow's in it, Dust, and Curse with Typhoid Mary.
Wait, this is Torrin Gronbeck, right?
This is the Torrin Gronbeck book, yeah.
Okay, I did see this. Yeah, this is gonna be hot.
Okay, all
Yeah,
right.
this is gonna be
all
good.
right.
Torrin Gronbeck's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Been putting out good stuff.
Absolutely. So that should be fun. We also got X-Men Red, again, more of what we know. Alpha Flight. is getting
Yeah,
a book.
let's go.
Ed
We're
Brisson and Scott Godlewski, who we just talked about.
Yep.
This is going to be a 5-issue series. It's going to have 2 different Alpha Flight teams, and it's going to include classic Alpha Flight team members with new ones. We'll see Guardian, Puck, Snowbird, Shaman, and then unannounced newer characters.
I think Dakin's on there, it looks like, which is
Ooh.
interesting. Dakin?
Oh, what random?
Well, he's dating not North Star, his sister.
E-Star.
Weast Star. I don't know. Aurora. Her name is. So yeah, I
Okay.
think that could be the connection there.
Okay. I love Ed Brisson. I think Ed Brisson is extremely talented, but I just don't care about Alpha Flight.
They're
I like
fun.
what, yeah.
They're fun when you get like a good like Wolverine has to jump in with them and do a thing. Good romp.
I like Puck.
I do
Puck's
like Puck,
cool.
yeah.
I always thought Guardian was like rip off Cyclops.
I thought it was more of a ripoff. What's the Russian one?
Red Guardian?
Vindicator.
Oh, yo, Vindicator.
Great name too. It's
Wow.
it's a wasted
Yes.
name.
One of
If
the
they don't use
best
it.
names in comics. Wow, I haven't thought about Vindicator in years and years and years. That's a crazy throwback.
On the cover, there's like people in the shadows, and I'm pretty sure it's Dakin, North Star, Aurora, and then there's this guy with like he almost looks like a mix between Manta Ray and Doorman. I cannot tell you who this character is.
Oh, I know who it is. I actually have this one. It's the Uncanny Spider-Man.
But it's not though. But yeah,
It's not. Listen, I try not to overreact to solicits because you never know, right? But this shit is my literal night terror. This is what I need snapped out of my brain.
Yep.
Well, I need Will Smith to come with that machine from Men in Black
Oh,
and
Phaser?
just the what?
I think they call it the phaser.
The thing that wipes your brain? I don't remember what it was called, but I need that done to me. Uncanny Spider-Man is by Cy Spurrier with art by Lee Garbett. So already I'm trepidatious, okay? And I thought, all right, Spider-Man, how can you go wrong? It's Spider-Man, right? Then I saw the cover. And I see what looks like Miles Morales' costume. But it's fucking Nightcrawler.
let's go.
No, not let's go. Let's go to hell. Let this go to hell.
Let's go to hell. Let's go.
Why?
Neuralizer. Sylv's got it. It's the
Neuralizer. Thank you. I need to be neuralized. Why is Nightcrawler wearing a particularly a Miles Morales-esque costume? I think that's a mistake. I genuinely do. Because to me, it immediately cheapens the Miles outfit. He's already struggling to maintain himself. You can't knock it off. And then Nightcrawler is Spider-Man. It's not like comics haven't done things like this. Daredevil was Iron Fist at some point. So Superman was Batman. Like these things happen, all right? But this one just rubbed me the wrong fucking way.
it's the second time this happened. The Amazing Nightcrawler is a comic book. It was during the Age of X-Men thing. He played this, kind of stuntman celebrity / superhero. And it was a play on Spider-Man in a way.
But was he wearing the costume?
Nobody was wearing the colors of Spider-Man, which
Okay.
I guess are the colors of Nightcrawler. But
Guys, what the fuck is going on with Cy Spurrier and Nightcrawler?
They both want to fuck
I
Each other?
don't.
at this point. He's just waiting for the chance to write erotic fiction.
This
the old John
this
Byrne
book-
method, yeah.
This book
no.
has been reset like 3 times
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
Krakoan era. Why are we still going with it?
I'm not.
Like,
Can I?
I like Nightcrawler. Can we get something else?
And the fact that it's like still tied to this original whatever idea that he's had.
Which didn't come out. Like it didn't happen.
Yeah. I don't get
I
it.
will say this. I kind of like this. And I'm kind of excited for it.
Bye, Sean.
I
I
like the idea of
Hold on.
Nightcrawler.
Hold on.
Nightcrawler's kind of been this like guy that's been trying to get Krakoa to work behind the scenes. He's He's like, all right, I'm gonna come up with a religion. Oh, never mind. I'm gonna be the cops of Krakoa, and like it still falls apart. So he's like, you know what? Fuck all that real shit. I don't want to do any of that anymore. I just want to be like, I just want to vibe, man. I just want to be a superhero, and he just does it. I like that. I like that. I like it.
That reads as failure of concept to me.
That's a good point.
Like I don't understand why Cy Spurrier is being allowed to continue, at least in this capacity, when it feels like what he's trying to do, he's just like not accomplished. Like his premises have not worked. Even story-wise, they've just not worked.
He hasn't done the homework there.
Like what are we doing here?
We'll see.
We'll see.
Hold on, just 1 second. 1 second. Marco, I want you to take a second stab at what you said after Sean got up.
Well, I'm with you, Tyler. I'm interested in this.
Yeah. I think the costume's really cool.
I can't handle this. What the fuck are you guys saying right now?
Because I like how stupid it is. It is dumb. Like, the idea that Nightcrawler is Spider-Man makes no sense. There's nothing about Nightcrawler that says spider. He's got a tail. He teleports. There's no spider motif at all. And the idea, he's just like, I'm going to be Spider-Man now. It's just so stupid that I like it.
I like the idea that Nightcrawler's been through hell.
Yeah.
And he's lost and confused. I'm with all that. Put on a random mask and go to town. While out. Why do you have to dress as this feels like Kale kept saying earlier, gimmick. This feels like a gimmick to me. And I don't need it. I don't. And I definitely don't need it. Never mind. I just don't. I can't do this. I will not buy this. I won't buy it. We're not reviewing it. I can't. This is bad.
Oh, you're pulling a Miracle Man on this one.
I can't.
All right.
I'll probably change my mind. All right.
Yeah.
But if I do, be prepared for the reckoning during that review.
Maybe take a week off.
Listen, yeah, I'm gonna put my foot down as co-owner of this podcast. I don't want to do it.
Oh. But there's only 4 of us, and if the other 2 want to, then what the heck happens? We leave it to the listeners, right?
It's true.
They decide. Democratize.
All right.
So our campaign begins now to let you guys know why you should not vote for Uncanny Spider-Man in the listener pick of whatever week this comes out.
Yeah, that's not the right way to attack that, Sean. You got to say how much you want to read it so that they won't pick it.
No. You don't. I'm pal of the year.
Self-proclaimed.
I was voted. There was a vote. Don't do that to me. I won. Don't take away my winnings. And so I'm saying now, listeners, do not vote for Uncanny Spider-Man whenever it's on the listener poll. Do not do it. Thank you.
Legatus Vaith wants to know if it's confirmed Kurt and not the Nightcrawler's version of Spider-Man.
I believe it is confirmed Kurt. Yeah.
Sinisters. Yeah. Because this is after Sins of Sinister, so surely we're
correct.
Whatever the fuck.
And something happens. We don't know exactly what happens. Just there is some kind of breaking point with the X-Men. Like Dark X-Men mentioned, the X-Men aren't around anymore. So
something happens in the Hellfire Gala that leads to the fall of X. So we'll have to wait until we get that to sort of start figuring this all out. On premise, though, all seriousness, this is just not. This is not it for me. But actually, no. Before we move on, real quick, how do you guys feel about the totality of these announcements? And are you excited about anything?
It's funny. We were always wondering, like, what does the fall of X mean? What fall of X? And it turns out it just means the season. It just means we're getting a whole bunch of new X-Men books in the fall. Which,
I still don't know. Like, what does it mean? I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, nothing here, frankly, gets me excited. Murphy put it in the chat, in the Discord, but he mentioned the idea of Cable and Bishop working together could have some really good friction.
Mm-hmm.
And that's interesting, but to be honest, like that doesn't do anything for me.
What if you could recast an X-Men character as another hero, what would it be? The
I wouldn't.
Invincible Cyclops.
I wouldn't. I don't have time for this. Why? Stop it.
I like it. I think
I want to. No, stop it, Tyler.
What is your DC X-Men team?
I want to go home. Stop it. Stop it right now.
A long flight.
God.
Miss me with this stuff, man. I don't know. It's like I feel like there's not an attachment anymore. I've been slowly just pulling away, and Wolverine is the only title that I'll follow at the moment.
Good book.
It's great.
It just feels like another line at this point, you know?
Yeah. And it doesn't, like, things are a bit more disparate now. Like, yeah, we have Sins of Sinister, but like that's to whatever person's liking. It doesn't hit for me.
It's wild. We always complain about line-wide events. DC's about to throw a horror one, and I'm more interested in that. And I'm barely interested in that.
The Sandman is a heavy thing for you, though.
Yeah.
Top lane, we know that this is not the end of the Krakoan era.
Yeah.
So we can expect more stories in Krakoa down the road. We just don't know where the X-Men are going to land. Like, we don't know how this is all going to resolve. But one thing we know for sure is that Krakoa will still be there, and we're still in that era of storytelling. For me, I really, in the what is this, the 4-year Jonathan Hickman experiment?
Yeah.
I've never cared less. It's just hard. The Dennis Camp book sounds compelling. That's the Children of the Atom. The Realm of X, that sounds kind of cool with Torrin Grandbeck. I'm into that. But everything else, it's like really just a pass. The stuff I'm already reading, I'm reading. X-Men Red, that's all cool, but new books, I can't.
What if Nightcrawler's trying to join like a Spider-Verse event and they're like, "Yo, bro, you're not even, get out of here." Like, I don't know. That could be fun.
No, it couldn't.
I like Nightcrawler. I can't help it. He's my Sandman. Sean, want me to go to the next slide?
That's so annoying for you to say. He's not your Sandman at all.
He's like the most popular X-Man. You're gonna sit here and say he's
not the most popular.
The fuck he's not.
It's Wolverine.
Wolverine.
Nightcrawler
okay.
may be in top 10.
All right, so
maybe
he's
top 10.
Top and a half. Excuse me.
God,
Get the fuck out of here.
We could have that argument. We could do that on another
Comics Versus once Kel, flies over.
If this is how it's gonna be, I'm not doing this shit with you.
Sounds like a good Comics Versus.
Welcome to my world, Kale. That's what I'm dealing with every week with this maniac.
Fucking tired of this shit.
With your Kenny Omega shirt, I see you.
God, I'm gonna put Uncanny Spider-Man in the Director Bones question thing going forward.
Yo, yes.
That's the only thing that can make me hate Dr. Bones more is that piece of shit being in there too.
Now, see,
what if he became Spider-Man? That's the real question.
I want out.
Yeah. Spider Bones.
Tyler, I want you for 3 minutes.
Hey,
3 minutes of playtime.
It'll take a lot less than that.
Is this a cue for me to go to a certain slide, or is that like a reference?
No, you don't get it? That's Spider-Man.
Yeah, that's the Bonesaw thing, right?
Bonesaw is ready. Come on.
Yeah, that's when Spider-Man becomes real homophobic all of a sudden.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's ignore that. Let's talk instead.
It's a different time.
Yeah.
Let's chat about everybody's favorite part of the show where we deep dive into a book. Or not a book in this case. Let's talk about Twilight of the Superheroes. So for those of you who are unaware, Twilight of the Superheroes is Alan Moore's would-be DC event that aimed to establish an endpoint for DC canon. It first surfaced around 1995 as a pitch document and has been the subject of debate, scrutiny, and controversy ever since. This is part 6 of our deep dive into Alan Moore's Twilight of the Superheroes, the greatest comic story never told. So, last week, where we left off, there was a great big war, and we saw the Houses of Thunder, we saw the Houses of Steel, we saw the Houses of Titan, Secrets, Justice, so many battle. We saw Constantine's plan start to take shape, and now we understand well, not quite exactly, but sort of where he's going. And we still have some questions about exactly what Constantine wanted with the old man that we discussed, and what the fate of Twilight is. So here we go. The greatest protector the Earth has ever known has fallen. Superman is dead at the hands of the ultimate Sodom Yat, leaving the planet to be ruled by the combined alien forces. Is this what Constantine envisioned? Earth dominated by yet another set of superpowered individuals? Just before the Horde can begin relishing their victory, a small army of non-power leap into action. Batman's secret cabal, John Constantine and his recruits from the barrio, the Blackhawks, all rising up as humanity takes its last stand. So, all adorned in vibrant, powerful, golden armor, granting them immunity to the otherwise omnipotent Green Lantern power rings. Gold's cruel fate gives humanity a fighting chance. As the two sides reach a standstill, Hal Jordan points out that the alien horde will never relent. They will stop coming through the Zeta Beam until humans stop resisting and accept their new masters. Humans are a crafty set, though, and none among them are as crafty as John Constantine. His big play doesn't end in a fist fight. That's not his style. He has one more trick up his sleeve. The Mobius chair.
What the fuck?
Constantine spent weeks, maybe more, searching the barrio for an old man. But not just any old man. Metron in disguise. Banished to Earth for sacrificing his morality in search of knowledge, he is forced to live out his life as an ordinary man with no inherent ability to impact Earth's current predicament. All Constantine needed was the chair. As he now explains to the alien invaders with a sly grin on his face, Constantine used the Mobius chair to go to the antimatter universe of Quard. He traded the secrets of the boom tube technology to them for the promise that Earth would be safe from the inevitable invasions the Quardians will ignite across the galaxy with this knowledge. Constantine informs them that right now, as they stand on this battlefield listening to his words, their homeworlds are being invaded by the infinite army of the Quard, led by the Anti-Monitor. The alien warriors they think are chomping at the bit to cross the Zeta Beam and join this fray on Earth are actually engulfed in fights on their own planets that may take centuries to win, should they even be able to win at all. Stunned and horrified by Constantine's revelation, realizing just how badly they had been played, the aliens immediately retreat to their respective homelands, should there even be homes to return to and fight for. The future of humanity is in the hands of human beings. Under the guidance of Batman, the Shadow, and others, they would once again be able to chart their own futures. All super people banished from Earth forever. Constantine pulls out his lighter and a cigarette, holds it to his lips, and smiles as he lights it, knowing that his little games and manipulating the world, and that a shot at a genuine utopia was possible for humanity. Now we flash back to a similarly sly grin on his face, cigarette in hand, as Zatanna frustratingly storms away from a confrontation with him, yelling that someday he'll meet somebody slicker than him and he'll find himself in a mess. To which he replies, "Baby, there ain't nobody smarter than me."
Uh-oh.
We flash a short time forward now, and John speaks to Rip Hunter, exasperated and confused by the fact that so many of the heroes he warned about the future hadn't heeded his words. Now, well, he thinks Rip told him about the hot blonde he meets at a bar and goes on to be very happy with. Can't be all bad, right? Rip hands John a letter from his future self. Quote, "Dear John," the letter begins, and John reads as his older self apologizes for manipulating him so cynically. Manipulated? Future John remembers meeting Rip Hunter. He remembers being conscripted for this mission. That despite his best efforts to the contrary, Twilight unfolded all the same. He apologizes once again, but reminds his younger self that love awaits and things really do get better eventually. John's been played. He was forced on this mission by his future self, a fruitless mission that would inevitably result in the same outcome. But he doesn't know everything about the way that things end. Furiously, John heads to the nearest bar and proceeds to get sloshed, his head circling around a desire for a revenge unattainable and to grips with the fact that he was played by himself. "Excuse me, have you got a light?" John hears these words and looks up to see a beautiful woman standing before him, a woman he knows he could fall in love with and spend the rest of his years in bliss with. However, his hatred for his future self outweighing his love for his current self, he makes the only choice worthy of a self-righteous, cynical bastard such as he. He looks at her blankly and replies, "I don't smoke." Now, to the words of Alan Moore, he says, "And that's it. I hope you can see how it's meant to fulfill all the requirements mentioned earlier. There are opportunities for new characters to get a springboard, old characters to get a shot in the arm, and all the merchandising you can handle in terms of games and stuff, at least as I see it. The Warring Houses idea sounds ideal for a role-playing game or maybe even a video game. The overall continuity is hopefully enhanced without being damaged in any irreversible way, and I think we might get a damn good yarn out of it in the bargain. Anyway, I seem to have gone on far longer than I intended, so I better wrap this up. I'll be looking forward with interest to hearing what any of you have to say about all this when you've had the chance to read it. If any sections are incomprehensible and need clarifying, then please give me a call." I think my biggest question coming out of all this is, what the hell did people think when they read this the first time? And what were those phone calls like?
I have questions.
Please do.
What happened to Gold?
So
He
Gold,
got melted. He got melted in the last
melted
one.
down.
he was
what,
melted and used for the armor that the non-powered heroes were wearing.
Oh,
remember
gotcha.
that
Okay.
this is
that's what I didn't register that part. Okay.
This is at a time when, please correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure this is the reason why they did this. Green Lanterns were still just weak to yellow in general.
Yeah.
So because they were wearing that armor, the Lanterns could not really deal with it, which is what turns the tide of the battle.
Gotcha. Okay.
And the aliens were the Thanagarians and the Iranians, right?
And the
Iranians.
Hawks people.
They're the Thanagarians, yeah.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Cool. Okay. I gotcha.
It just seems like it ultimately was a Constantine book. Like,
it always is, dude. With Moore,
so.
It always is. He gets his way. He manipulates people. Checks.
It certainly is an ending.
Yeah, honestly, I think I was into it. Even with the Billy Batson snuff film part.
Yeah.
Not into it like that, but like
Well,
then the end
Alright.
kind of fizzles. You know,
But, I
it
mean,
feels
it's
like a
an
Tom
ending.
King ending. Actually, it feels like the ending was issue 11, and the solo issue 12 is this Constantine stuff that I didn't really care about.
Well, I should say that is maybe I didn't tell the story very well. Maybe I shouldn't have framed it this way and doing this last piece of the actual story as the finale of the battle and
Epilogue.
the epilogue. Maybe that was not the way to do it.
Is that how it was pitched? Was it pitched chronologically, or was it pitched all
Yeah.
over the place?
No, the way I lay it out is the
Okay, that's not you then. That's just how the story is then.
I think though, Classy Ulysses points out that the Martian Manhunter twist was mind-boggling. I think that is like the thing.
Hmm.
You know, like we've been gearing up for this war on Earth the whole book pitch. The alien stuff, like that's to the side. Like they were coming after Superman. Oh, he's gone now? Great. Like Superman and his family, they were going to be the challenge, but they're gone. So,
And, it's worth pointing out that if we were reading this comic book, the battle between Superman and Sodom Yacht and the Green Lanterns would probably be one of the coolest things ever.
Sure.
Like
Yeah.
in my mind, as I was reading that, I was picturing in the last episode, I was picturing what that would look like. And I gotta say that like that had to be so cool.
And at the time,
Um,
it like Sodom Yacht was relevant. You know,
Right.
yeah,
Absolutely.
it would have felt like a wrestler, like a fan favorite wrestler getting a big push. You know, he had like a Brock Lesnar year.
And I think the dominoes falling accordingly, seeing what Constantine was really working on, having that bang after bang after bang of revelations and reveals, I think it would have worked. I'm a little surprised at your guys' reaction, to be honest.
I think I enjoyed that. Like that wrap up, I think is pretty typical of a more story. Like you have the big conflict, and then he just has like an epilogue to say something maybe thoughtful.
Yeah.
I thought he knocked it out. Like for me,
Anti-smoking is the.
you
think
know
it
what? That
worked.
lines up too.
I like
Yeah,
that,
the thing that bugs me is the Metron chair.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
to me, the Deus Ex Machina of that
Yeah.
really like, boy, that stands out.
Okay, so that is one instance where if this were actually printed, it's clear to me based on having read this that Alan Moore would have seeded that stuff out. So by the time,
Yeah.
My issue is if they depower him, he doesn't have the chair. You know, like, so how does he get the chair? But again, that's a writer will write the explanation for that. So
yeah, the general like idea is that he is stuck. He can't do anything with the chair. He can't leave Earth. He can't do anything. So I don't know how. I'm sure he would have found a way around that.
You write it. That's how. Yeah.
Right.
I always hate the critique. It's like, well, how does this happen? I'm like, well, figure it out. You write it. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
Any lingering questions about the story?
So I guess Batman's team wins, right?
Yes.
The
So
humans win.
the humans win, and now they will be able to basically restart society.
But then how do you get rid of like the superpowered people? All right, like
they're dead.
Aliens win. Wrecked shit.
The alien. So I'll explain what Constantine's plan was. Constantine's plan was, I'm gonna make allies with everybody, but I need Steel and Thunder specifically to lose. But in the midst of their losing, I need them to also kill the whole Justice League and the whole Titans. And then the aliens have to come and finish the strongest of the remaining players, which is what Sodom Yacht does. He kills Superman, and that's Superman. So now that happened, Constantine already knows that next those same aliens are going to have to deal with the remaining humans. But whether they win or die, they'll likely at least be able to get to a point of a standstill. Now, Constantine can reveal his endgame plot, which was the antimatter Quardians who are, as he's talking, killing all these worlds.
Marco, it's like when we played Fortnite that one time where we just waited and hid the entire time getting all the good gear while everyone else killed each other, and then we won.
Well, because like my I don't remember there being parts where like let's say like Raven dies or something, right? Or like Beast Boy, like those people have powers. Are they just now like anybody that remaining that maybe would have survived? Are they just expelled?
They're dead. No,
Splash page, kill them all in the background.
If they took part in this battle, they're dead. Like if you the last week or last time we did this,
Yeah.
I talked about how like it was death after death after death, but I didn't get into the granularity of who was dying because it's not narratively interesting for me to say it constantly, but also more doesn't give details about all of the deaths. And I should also point out that anytime I said like Hal Jordan, for example, or Zatanna, those were not in Moore's version. Those are, he leaves it as like someone says. And I thought that narratively that was not interesting. The story is told, that wouldn't be the case. Zatanna was chosen because she's a former flame of Constantine. And I chose Hal Jordan just because he's the primary Green Lantern. So those were me. Just in case that affects your viewing, that's me.
Oh,
it almost feels like this is a proto Watchmen in a way. Like I can see the world existing after the fact of all of this being a very post superhero world, and that's Moore's favorite playground.
Yeah.
So this is the creation of that postmodern superhero take for the DC universe. It even writes away aliens. It's like, hey, they don't exist anymore as far as we're concerned.
Right.
You know?
Exactly.
It's just Earth. It's just people. It's Tarzan. You know?
It's Tarzan, Doc Savage, and the Shadow.
Yeah.
And then also to answer Topling's question, Antimatter, again, that was me. Because the Quardians because he is from the antimatter universe and has led the Quardians at that same time frame, I extrapolated to add flavor and included the Anti-Monitor. But in the actual text, it's a generic force of Quardians.
oh,
I just
Good
didn't think
stuff.
that was as interesting.
It was good stuff, dude.
Thank you. We're not done with Twilight of the Superheroes because we've got one more presentation to go. And this is the one that I think people have had a lot of questions about that we haven't been able to get to, which is the real life aspect of all this. So next week, we're going to talk about why this never actually came to be, how it actually almost came to be anyway, and where. Hitch, major comic book reporter, had a lot to do with this story and almost made it possible to get this published.
Ben Urich.
Reporter
of comic book. God, okay.
Little hint. That individual may have written a story about us this week.
Okay.
His name rhymes with Hitch and your Johnson.
Oh God.
So we do have more to go. I want to answer it. Go ahead.
Are we going to get to like Alan Moore's like how this affected him as well? This not being made. I guess we don't really know much about that because he doesn't talk. But
Alan Moore had a relationship with a certain journalist that allowed for things like that.
Okay,
so we will definitely be diving into that.
That's where the juice is for me on.
And any questions that you might have. There are things that I know about this story that just didn't come up for whatever reason. So if you're wondering about a particular character, I might be able to answer that. Or just whatever we don't get to. If you have questions, write in. I have a backlog of questions that I couldn't answer for the sake of keeping everything, narrative. So that's what we're going to do. We'll blow it all out next week.
I want the biopic, the Alan Moore biopic. That's it's like Air for Alan Moore. That new Jordan's movie that just came out.
That could be cool, actually.
Hell yeah.
I would like that.
Who would play more?
I want to end this conversation with a fact about Alan Moore that I bet most people don't know. And that is that Alan Moore has, on 2 occasions in his life, met John Constantine.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I know this one.
Did he meet Sting?
Mm-hmm.
No. He met John Constantine.
Wait, what?
Okay.
Yeah,
So in
Marco wants to know
1993,
what he took so that he can go find it at Coachella later.
in 1993, Alan Moore did an interview with Wizard Magazine, that old thing. And he said that he met John Constantine 2 times. Now, these are the words of Alan Moore. One day, I was in Westminster in London. This was after we had introduced the character, and I was sitting in a sandwich bar. All of a sudden, up the stairs came John Constantine. He was wearing the trench coat, a short cut. He didn't even look exactly like Sting. He looked exactly like John Constantine. He looked at me, stared me straight in the eyes, smiled, nodded, almost conspiratorially, and then just walked off around the corner to the other part of the snack bar. I sat there and thought, should I go around that corner and see if he's really there, or should I just eat my sandwich and leave? I opted for the latter. I thought it was the safest. I'm not making any claims to anything. I'm just saying it happened. Strange little story. His second meeting with his creation was okay. Well, this
Doesn't he meet him in the book at one point?
yeah. He meets him in the book, and then years later, in another place, this is him physically actually meeting Constantine. Years later, in another place, he steps out of the dark and speaks to me. He whispers, "I'll tell you the ultimate secret of magic." And I don't want to say this word on the show, but I'm sure you'll understand what I mean. Any C word could do it.
Chap. Got it. I know how the Brits talk. Yeah. We're monetized now. We can't be.
Yeah, no, I can't do that.
Yeah, Sylv's got it. Sylv's got it on Twitch. Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah, charisma, uniqueness, nerve, and talent. That's a RuPaulism. That's not me.
Serving that.
Yeah.
Serving that.
That's funny.
Thank you guys. Oh, go ahead, Kale. Sorry.
I was gonna say it's
Kale, I want to go home. Come on.
All right. End it.
Go ahead, Kale.
Okay, no, I'm done.
All right. Thank you guys so much for listening. We appreciate everybody that listened through this very long episode. We had a lot to do. We cut a lot too. So we've got content, things to talk about for next week as well. If you want to support the show, if you enjoyed what we did here today, if you want to get more from us, things that are not available to the YouTube or Twitch or podcast spaces, go to patreon.com/thecomicspals, where for as little as $3 a month, you can get access to our newsletter. And a whole lot more is available over there as well. We've got a totally exclusive show called Palling Around over there. You can vote in our book clubs. You get your name recognized and shouted out here on the show, as you heard at the top. So a lot of value and benefit coming from our Patreon page. And frankly, it's the best way to allow us to continue to do these things and to take things to even greater heights. So if you want to be a part of, the foundation of the Comics Pals and, really integrate yourself into our community, that's a great way to do that. Another great way to do that is to join our Discord server and come hang out with us over there.
We've had a lot of people joining lately.
A lot of people joining lately. Yeah. A lot of the names that you see in the live chat, a lot of the people whose names we mention on the show as consistent commenters are generally in our Discord server. So come be a part of that. Join the Pals community in that way as well. If you want to watch this show live, it's every Saturday at 10:15 a.m. Eastern. Thursdays at 6 p.m. Eastern for Pals Pulls. You can vote for which book we should be talking about on Pals Pulls in the listener poll, which is up right now. No matter when you were listening to this, unless it's after Wednesday, it's up. So give that a look, give it a vote. For everything else, at the Comics Pals all over the place. Kale, plugs.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Comics Pals, episode 339. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at TotoInto. That's TOTOINTOW. You can find my work at kaleward.com. That's CLEWARD.com. Guys, the Pokemon bubble has popped.
What?
I think I've burned out.
Oh,
I don't
okay.
think I can do it anymore, finally.
Only took how many years?
Oh, I'll come back.
Oh, sure.
I'll come
sure.
back. I just
Oh,
need
you
a
mean
break.
you stopped playing for now?
Yeah. I just
Gotcha,
need a
gotcha,
break.
gotcha.
You
But
can. Oh,
the Mega Man Battle Network collection
That was
comes
a
out.
mention today.
I gotta have
yesterday.
that.
Came out
I'm
yesterday.
ready for.
It came out yesterday? Okay,
Yeah.
I'm
Did it
not
really?
that behind then.
Never played that.
Oh, Sean, that's so good.
Yeah.
As a Mega Man fan, I think you'd enjoy it.
Mega Man.
You're
fan,
probably
that's fun.
right. I am obsessed with Mega Man.
And
It's
and it
not-
has like
It's not the same system though.
but it does have like a card game sort of feel to it.
Yeah.
Like Chain of Memories.
The chip like the chip usage.
Yeah.
I don't
Big
know what
fan.
reference that is.
Love that series.
Great stuff.
The Game Boy Kingdom Hearts reference.
Hey, two new people just joined our Discord server while we're live, so that's really awesome. Thank you,
Hell
Legatus
yeah.
Vaith and Villy for joining. I'm not sure who Villy is. From
One half of Manili.
I can't be mad. I can't be mad at that. That's good. All right, you win. Marco, plugs.
You can follow me at Mr. Marco Enomoto on Instagram and Twitter. I'm at Coachella this weekend, so if you're following me, you will see lots of music. And part
We
of
hope.
my, we hope, well, part of my newsletter will also be covering, I think most of it actually, will be covering just like stuff, my opinion of it, because going to be one of the first like larger music fests that I've been to. So just curious to like put my thoughts out on it.
Awesome.
You guys can stream Coachella on YouTube. They pretty much stream everything in really high quality.
Yeah, all the stages.
I saw Kim Petras, Becky G, and Danny Elfman last year. Very good quality on YouTube.
Danny
Ooh.
Elfman?
One of the best sets I've ever seen. Insane. He did Oingo Boingo and live scores shirtless. It was
Fuck yeah.
dude. Yeah, it's phenomenal. Like he would
I
he would go into like the Spider-Man theme and then straight into an Oingo Boingo song, and then he would sing Nightmare Before Christmas. It was wild. Yeah,
Yo,
That's
I
so
might
cool.
look that up. Damn.
yeah. It's like a good half-hour set, like too. So
Good stuff.
Tyler, what are you plugging?
I got nothing. The Tyler Rolls on Instagram and Twitter. Come hang out. Come talk.
Fair enough. I'm on Twitter and Instagram only at Sean Soapbox. Hit me up to chat about wrestling, which has been very interesting. These are the days that I wish I had a podcast called The Wrestling Pals as well. So hit me up to talk about that or video games or whatever your bag is. Thank you so much for making this your bag as well. We appreciate you. We will see you next week. Until then, we're the Comics Pals signing off. Take care, guys.
See you next week.